This is a step-by-step guide to the new solo Robospear method that was created by Jeremiah and Muffyn. Huge shoutouts to them, I will link their video in the description. As P2 Judge dies, equip your Blue Moon gear and activate your spec. If you have a Purging Staff equipped and you put on your Blue Moon set, you will start autocasting Arceus with the Blue Moon Spear. There are two workarounds for this. The first is to go into your attack options and manually set it to one of the melee styles after you do this, after killing P2 Judge. The second and my preferred option is to always put on your Ember Light before you put on your Blue Moon gear. As long as it was not autocasting before, your Blue Moon Spear will continue to be on a melee style when you do this. Once you're loaded into P3, run toward this intermediate tile and then attack Yama with your Blue Moon spec. Similar to Monofly or Donofly, you can spawn in a little closer to Yama and reach him in 2 ticks. You'll need to delay on the intermediate tile for 1 tick in this case. If you spawn in on the left side and you try to attack Yama on this tile, when you pass to the blue tile marked P, you will get meleeed on this intermediate tile here. To avoid this, I recommend using the intermediate tile that I'm using at the center of this pattern. Spec Yama, put on your melee gear, optionally summon a Thrall, and then begin your fireball dodges. Like in Godfly, react to whether the fireballs are falling north-south or east-west and dodge accordingly. The first couple clicks are pretty precise. You need to be clicking dodge, attack, dodge, each on consecutive ticks. If you mess this up, he will melee you on one of the dodge tiles. This is probably the trickiest part of the method for me to get down, but after a couple tries it should become muscle memory. Dodge, attack, dodge. After the fireballs, begin running to the numbered tiles. Whenever your true tile reaches the numbered tile, click to attack Yama. Some of these tiles, especially the ones behind Yama, can be very difficult to click on properly. I always just shift click to these. You can additionally opt to rotate your camera so that they become easy to click. This tile marked 6 is normally meant for the Swift Blade. I've opted to drop it entirely, which means that after the attack on 6, I run straight to the tile marked 8. Feel free to get rid of this tile marked 7 if you're not using it. After the tile marked 9, you're going to run back to the starting P tile and put on your Mage gear. With Avernic Treads Max and Confliction Gauntlets, you hit the 20% needed to one-shot the Void Flares by only equipping 1 piece of Blue Moon. If you don't have Avernic Treads Max or Confliction Gauntlets, you can either opt to do 2 more Blue Moon switches to make up that extra 2% you're going to be missing. But this means doing a 5-way swap during the Void Flares in P3, which can be pretty demanding. Or just bring an Occult in addition to your Tormented Bracelet and just do Purging Staff, Occult Tormented, and you should be fine. On the P tile, you're going to attack both Void Flares. You need to spec at least one of them. Specking both of them does not save any time, so that's not necessary. You can choose to spec either the first or the second orb, it doesn't matter. But specking the first orb makes your switch a little easier and letting you dodge the fireballs a little more easily. After this, just repeat the method until Yama is dead. If you make a mistake, then you can sometimes save the kill by just continuing to run your tiles like normal. However, if Yama melees you, then he actually begins to continue pursuing you at mage distance instead of melee distance. In this clip, I make a mistake after I attack on tile 6 and I take a melee attack, so Yama will no longer chase me at melee distance. What I'm going to try to do is use his tile in the corner that is labeled reset to try to pull him back to his original spawn position. After that, because Yama is trying to chase me at mage distance, he will no longer move from that position and I can just do a regular method like Godfly. The reason why I like pulling him back to spawn is because a lot of these methods, such as Godfly, are built around perfectly dodging the shadows from the spawn position and they will not work if he shifted a tile or 2 north or south. This corner tile works for a lot of positions that Yama is in, but there are several cases where he is usually too far to the west, or if you screw up really early on, he's too far north to correctly get pulled back to spawn. It is probably possible to more precisely maneuver him and have a better safety fallback for these cases that resets him in almost all Yama positions, but I don't have a good enough understanding of his pathfinding to figure this out, so I will leave it to someone smarter. Other options that you have are to just try to do a scuffed Godfly or Simplify from wherever he ends up at, dodging the shadows the best that you can. You can also opt to just put on your Mage gear and finish the kill out with Mage, although this is quite a bit slower than melee. In this next clip, I make a mistake at a different point of the cycle and still show how the reset tile can be used to save the kill. I make a lot of mistakes on the way, but you can see how the reset tile manages to drag him back all the way to spawn. If Yama were a little bit more to the west, past that tile label number 9, he would end up resetting a little bit west of where he normally spawns, making the method a little harder to execute, but still salvageable. I will cap off this video by saying that Jeremiah mentioned that he estimates Robospear to be around 24% better than Donofly. With some really rough napkin math, that means that you're saving in the ballpark of like 15 seconds per P3 doing Robospear over a method like Donofly, and probably something like 7 to 8 seconds doing it over a method like Godfly. It's really up to you if you think this is worth it. I would say if you're consistently making mistakes doing this method, then you should stick to a simpler method. But if you are really focused or just really enjoy these kinds of methods, then by all means, feel free to do this. And I hope this video helped you in some way. I've put tile markers and other helpful links in the description. Feel free to leave any questions in the comments. The clip playing now is an uncut full P3 with Robospear, which I will let play in the background until it finishes. Hope this helped. Peace.